What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Game Time Live. We are coming to you on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, and it's great to have everybody with us. I am Isaiah Hoffman along with Dcot. Daryl, good to have you in the building today. Should be a good one. We obviously I made the title of the video about the Hoosiers getting to the national championship. Can they win one last game to bring home a national championship? All of Indiana sports has seen some sort of success, and then it went downhill very quickly. Will the Hoosiers go through the same fate as the Pacers, the Colts, and the Fever? We are going to find out not tomorrow night, but next Monday night. Should be interesting. We're going to talk about it all today, folks. We're going to talk college football. We're going to talk NFL, and we may even get Daryl to talk a little bit about the NBA. We'll have to wait and see. Trust me, folks, I'm pushing for more NBA talk. I'm doing my due diligence for all our NBA fans that started.
You are. Yes, you are.
Well, I like to think, when we started the channel, what got us to 100 subs? The NBA Finals.
It was the NBA season. That was the only thing going on.
A lot of our fans, I feel like, are like, man, I feel like a lot of our NBA fans are feeling misguided and not feeling the love right now from us, Daryl.
Hey, it may be true, right? But we've asked them, hey, if you got something for us, put it in the comments, give us some ideas, right? And I think in less than 30 days, it's NBA all day, every day.
Yeah.
We've got one college football game, no two, because of the Senior Bowl on the 31st of January. And then we've got two less games now in the NFL. And after today, it's going to be three less games. So basketball's got its time. And granted, yes, I told you yesterday, yes, I watched a little bit more NBA. Yes, I've followed a little bit more of late. But it still can't take away from my love of CFB, man. I can't do that just yet.
Well, we're going to get into it. We're going to start with the national championship preview and talk about the games that also happened this weekend. Indiana dominates Oregon, and Ole Miss falls short to Miami. I thought for a second there Miami was going to lose, and Ole Miss was going to get to the national championship. And I was like, man, Lane Kiffin, you don't seem too bright at the moment, but you get lucky. Miami goes to the national championship. Miami versus Indiana. Daryl, I will let you have the floor on this. I just want to say props to Indiana. I hope they can bring home the national championship. The state needs it after the pain we've endured the last couple of months. So I am hoping we can bring it home, Daryl. Your thoughts on Indiana? I mean, we're both kind of thinking the same thing on what we want to talk about. I'll let you have the floor first, though.
Well, let's start with Miami and Ole Miss first, right? So we got to give him the credit where credit is due. Miami is a team that a lot of people said shouldn't even been in the playoffs. All Miami has done is go to Texas A&M in front of 104,000 fans and physically dominate the number 5 ranked team in the country. Then they turn around and they go to Ohio State, play against Ohio State, the greatest college football team ever created, push them around, bully them. Then they turn around this past week, and they played against a Mississippi Ole Miss team that was offensively skilled more than any other team that they played this postseason. And that offensive line for Miami and the defensive line was the difference. Miami's got to get some credit. And they were ranked 10th in the preseason poll. A lot of people mad at Miami and all this and that and the Michael Irvin thing. I love it. I just want to make sure that's clear. I love it. I love the fact that it's Indiana and Miami, because I think they're the two best teams. Not just because they're standing. If you look at the body of work, I think the committee not only got it right, I think we got the best matchup we can have. Two dominating defensive lines, right? We've got two quarterbacks that are veteran quarterbacks, So let's see what happens come the 19th of January. But flipping over to Indiana, what can you say? Other than what I said, weeks ago, Natty does not have to apologize about kicking the snot out of anybody he plays. Give you an example of the great Natty. It's fourth quarter, 12 minutes to go. They are punting. Now, mind you, they are punting on their, I think they're on a 12-yard line. They put on a punt block the punt, and it's 42-15. That turns into 49-15. Do not apologize for beating the snot out of teams, Kurt Signetti. Don't take your foot off the gas, and let the best team win on the 19th. But if we've got any crazy thoughts about this being a blowout game, I think we're wrong. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. I think it's going to be a physical game. I don't want to pick the game. I think the offensive line for both teams and the defensive line for both teams are so doggone good. I'm afraid to pick it.
I'll pick it right now.
I want Indiana to win. I'm gonna be clear. I want Indiana to win.
Oh, I do too.
But I'm not picking it. That's gonna be a tough one, man. And whoever wins it is gonna earn it. I tell you that. You know, that's the thing. What my thought when it comes to the Indiana play, and then obviously the 19th. They were nothing less than remarkable Friday night. Pick 6 on the first play. They go on defense. Yeah, they score a touchdown. Oregon's thinking, yeah, we got them. Here comes the avalanche. And the avalanche was non-stop. Continual pressure on supposedly second best quarterback in college football. Maybe the third, depending on who you talk to. He looked pedestrian. He looked shook. There's a lot of talk about him being the second quarterback taken, right? You go back to the reports. When Indiana went to Oregon and beat the snot out of them early in the season, he said, they confused me. They had different looks. I was a little shook up. It was no different Friday night. Yeah. It was no different. So all the credit goes to the defensive scheme for Indiana and those players, all those 2- and 3-star players that are bums. Yeah. What I would love to have those type of bums play for me. Yeah. Played great, played aggressive, and they were ball hawking throughout the game.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great game. I've got Indiana winning next Monday by 2 scores at least. We'll see if Miami comes to play. But I have nothing, as you said at the start of these playoffs, we have nothing to make us feel like Indiana can't win this game. And I mean, at this point, I see no reason why they can't win this game in a blowout at this point. Not to say I don't like Miami. I mean, I've went to bat for Miami all year, especially to get in the playoff over those losers out there in South Bend, those losers at Notre Dame. I specifically.
So basically, we're 7 minutes in, and you already attacking South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah, just look at it. Look at it. All I see from Notre Dame on Twitter during the game is, we're still the last team to beat Indiana. Still the last team to beat Indiana. Oh, shut up. What
type of sense does that make? So we're the last team. What does that mean?
Because they're the last team. They're the last team to beat IU because they're undefeated right now. They're the last ones to beat them.
That was last
I don't know. I have no clue.
You know what it is? Here's the deal, Isaiah. And we were talking about this yesterday when we were on the phone. People have to do something to make themselves feel better. They got to find some type of smidgen of something. Say, oh, now I feel better because my team lost. No, Notre Dame, you didn't even make the playoffs. You're not worthy of having a conversation.
They didn't make a bowl game either.
Right. They said they would rather sit and watch. There's a meme going around. It's really funny. I won't go into it. But with that said, the only people that have even a voice are the 12 teams in the playoff. I don't want to hear from anybody else. Your team wasn't in it. They didn't make it. I understand it's bias, and we got all this proposed bias. Your team didn't make it.
Yeah.
Indiana was 18th ranked at the beginning of the season. Now, people are picking them to win it all. Now, did you see the beginning of the game Friday night? Or I watched it. I had the volume up, and Greg McElroy was on. He's ex Bama quarterback. They were saying something along the lines of Oregon had 2 players opt out who were in the transfer portal with running backs. It's a shame that the 3rd string running back had to play. They were playing it as if that's why. Hey, man, here's what I'm going to say this. I'm going to keep saying it. Give the team that beat the snot out of your team some credit.
Yeah.
Give them credit. They balled out. And it wouldn't matter if you had Walter Payton in his prime back there in that backfield. It would not have mattered Friday night.
And I think when you're Oregon, you got to start calling Dan Lanning into question a little bit here. When you look at these playoffs, I mean, to be fair, you look at his playoff history at this point. Every year he loses, he gets farther the next year. So next year he'll get to the national championship, he'll lose, and then maybe he'll get to the national championship and win. But that's literally how his trajectory has gone in the playoffs so far.
You know, I saw clips on that. How can we knock Dan Lanning? All that dude has done is win at Oregon.
I get it.
He has only one team can win a national title a year. I mean, listen, I'm not a huge Lanning fan the way he went at Colorado a couple years. I didn't like that. It was personal, right? I don't like it when it gets personal. But
I do.
For people to say he needs to be looked at, Oregon's never won a national title in our lifetime. I think maybe 1937 or something like that. Okay. So all they've done is be significant year in, year out, year in, year out. Only one team's going to be able to win it. So you got 18 teams in the Big 18. You got 16 in the SEC. I think you got 14 in the Big 12. And I think you got 16 in the ACC. I'm not a mathematician, but that's about 65 teams. So if every team won 1 year back behind each other, we'd all be gone by the time the next team won. So I'm not going to knock Dan Lanning for not winning against a team that he was outmatched at. Indiana was better. I can't knock a guy for losing when he didn't have a better team. Okay, I'll ask you, when has Oregon had a better team in a playoff format and they lost? We need that cricket sound now because you won't find it.
Probably the year they played Ohio State. I thought they were better than Ohio State that year.
You're out your mind. You out of your mind. That was in 2014. That was Ezekiel Elliott.
I know.
And his dominating play. You're out of your mind.
I really
you know why? Because they had the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback.
That's why. That's why.
It was a lot of talk. They were air raid. They were throwing the ball.
That's all.
But also you got to realize Dan Lanning wasn't their coach then either. You got to realize
That's true.
So with that said, Oregon has not lost a game where they were better than the team.
Yeah.
They just haven't.
Yeah.
You know, every guy that's a 4 or 5 star, it doesn't pan out.
It's gonna be interesting come next Monday night. I hope the Hoosiers can get it done. Next year will be a good year for college football. From everything I've been reading up on, you know, obviously Indiana's doing a lot of work in the portal. USC seems to be I guess they have the number 1 recruiting class, if I read that right.
Yeah, they got like 30. They got 34 guys out of high school, which is great. Great, but they've got to pan out. What we've seen this college football season is this: every 4 and 5 star isn't made up to be every 4 and 5 star. So let it play out. We've seen that, you know, because if that were the case, Indiana should already be on the couch watching, right? Because they thumped Ohio State. They thumped Oregon. Both teams have 50. Well, I'm not going to go into I'm going to go in for my Cots Corner this week, but both those teams have 50 plus more 4 and 5 stars than Indiana did. So sometimes these guys are playing against talent that makes them a 4 or 5 star, but when they get to the next level, there may be a 2 star. So I'm good. I'm good with how things are playing with the recruiting piece. I like where my team is. My boys, they're a solid 5th right now. Got some transfer portal guys that went to the portal. Great. You got to bring some guys in, take some guys leave. It's now about negotiation for these players. It's not about, okay, I'm gonna stay because I like my team, I like my coach. Who's paying me? You know, and if you've got an opportunity as a young player to get an extra $100,000 from the school that you're at, yeah, these guys are taking it. I can't say what they should and shouldn't do because I'm not in their pocket, I'm not in their home. But if these young men can put themselves in a position where they can take advantage of a few extra dollars, I support that 100%.
There was a video going around X, and it's Jeremiah Smith. He's sitting down with Brandon Marshall, and you saw it. They compared bank accounts, and yeah, Jeremiah Smith apparently has way more money than Brandon Marshall, which is just crazy to think about.
Well, Brandon Marshall has been retired for damn near 10 years. Okay.
Yeah, it's true. It's just,
see, you know what we do, right? We compare apples and oranges and we try to make it even. That's not the same. It's just
it's still crazy to think about, like, how much Jeremiah Smith is getting. It just.
So I guess I disagree. I think it's more crazy to see where all this money been before. Where's it been before?
Yeah, that's fair.
That's my question. So all these universities, all of these boosters and the collectives, where was all this before? And who was getting that money?
Like, I think it's more crazier for me is because these guys are closer to my age and they're millionaires.
I'm happy for them.
I am too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying.
I'd rather have these young men turning themselves into millionaires than turning these boosters and all the other folks into multiple billionaires. Yeah. Give me some of that money, and I think that's something that they say these kids, right? We talk about these kids. Jeremiah Smith, get your money, man. Get your money. And I love when they say X player has committed back to this team. No, it's not committed. The contract's worked out and the terms have been accepted by said player. That's what that is. And I like it because it gives an opportunity for schools like Ole Miss, like Indiana, other teams to give it Vanderbilt to have an opportunity to stand up and say, we're in this thing too. That's the win. And I know people are upset about the Blue Bloods not, having the control anymore. No, there's no more SEC dominance. There's no one. So what? We're dominant. And we got better games, better play every Saturday. And come the 23rd, there's a strong chance it's going to be spread to a 16-team platform, which means there are 4 more fan bases that are going to have an opportunity to smile and be happy. So I like it. I think it's a good thing. These players getting money. Get your money while you can. Yeah. Because I'll keep going back to 2% of the players get to the NFL. Yeah. That means 98% don't. So get your money, kids. Yeah. So I like it. I know that's not the only thing we were talking about, but again, I think it's a good thing that we're talking about this in terms of not just the game, but the NIL, the transfer portal. I do think there need to be guardrails. We got to have guardrails because things are just crazy. But that's going to come when you got 5,000 plus players in the portal. The adults in the room are going to have to sit down and say, listen, we got to put our egos aside. We got to put our selfish needs aside and what's best for the game. They'll figure something out. It'll be working out with the players, but that'll be a win for the players, for the fans, and also the college athletics, period. Not just college football, but college basketball, obviously, and somewhat to the tune of baseball. Not nearly as much, but yeah, I think it's going to be good overall, period.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting for sure. It's going to be a fun national championship. I can't wait to see how it goes. You're not gonna make a prediction?
Nah, man. I know people saying blowout. I don't see it a blowout. I mean, could it be a blowout? Of course it could, but I think the offensive line for both teams and defensive line for both teams are so strong. I'm afraid to pick, man. If you put a water gun to my head, I would take Indiana by 7, by a touchdown. So this is my official pick. Indiana 35-27, which is 8 points win, over Miami. That's my pick. 35-27, Indiana.
I think it's a 2-score game. I don't have like a score, but I think
that's 2 scores. That's a touchdown. Well, yeah, touchdown and 2-point conversion. But
that's what I'm going with.
But I just think there's a lot of disrespect going towards Miami because them supposedly eking into the playoffs. You got your quarterback. They got Michael Irvin on the sideline. People making fun of him, which I think is just ridiculous and trash. By the way, that man's a fan. He's an alum.
Yeah,
He played on winning team. Enough of the Michael Irvin jokes. It's just lame. That's what's lame to me. Making fun of the guy and that type of thing. And that's what internet does. I get all that, but it's enough for me.
My timeline, more or less, people like what he's doing. People find it funny, and I do too. I mean, let him enjoy it. I mean, somebody put out a tweet a couple days ago, and they were like, it truly is an honor in your lifetime to see one of your favorite teams win a championship, because not a lot of people get to see that. Yeah. So, enjoy the moment for sure. Yeah.
Have fun with it, right? But again, I just think, with Carson Beck, and no one's talking about this, but Carson Beck is in his 7th year in college football. This is year 7. And no one's knocking that, right? But he's gone through a lot. He was a highly touted quarterback coming out of high school. Then he turns to Georgia, plays decently well. I'm sorry I'm boring you, man, but you're good. You're good. But with that said, Carson Beck played his butt off the last 2 games.
Yeah. And
I haven't heard a lot of people give him much credit. Mm-hmm. He's been putting the ball on time. And Tony, number 10 for I forget to say for Alabama. Maybe he needs to be in Alabama. Tony, number 10 for Miami. That dude's supposed to be a senior in high school right now. He reclassified from high school. He should be a senior in high school right now. And all he's done is dominate. I mean, without Tony, if put it this way, if they minimize, Indiana, if they minimize Tony, it looks like Ole Miss was trying to bracket him. And what was happening was when they tried to bracket him, gave him so much attention, that's when the other guys were open. If they have a way of neutralizing Tony and taking care of those other guys, this could be a tough game for Miami. But I don't know how you have a fix for 4.2 speed from that guy like that. He's so sudden, That's what I'm gonna be interested to see. How does Indiana play against Tony, especially when they try to bracket him and he gets out, those bubble screens. That bubble screen he hit the home run for, dude, he was shot out of a cannon. Pew, gone. So I'm gonna be all eyes on January 19th. I'm already working it to where I'm working a half a day on the 20th. I'm coming in the second half of the day because I got a feeling I'm gonna be up kind of late, and I think we're gonna do a live late breaking after the game if I remember right.
Yeah, we're gonna do a live after the national championship, regardless of the result. So make sure you guys tune in next Monday. We will be live following the national championship game. Let's move over to the NFL. We've got a lot to talk about on that side as well. We actually haven't talked on stream about all the coaching changes since they were announced, so we're going to definitely hit that today. And we're going to hit the playoffs a little bit since the playoffs aren't done yet. We're not going to hit on it too much. We'll do probably another stream this week to kind of tie all that together and talk about all the playoffs as a whole. Justin Herbert, you got to win today. You got to win today. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for much else. I don't care. I don't care if you throw 2 picks and 2 touchdown passes. We've got to get a win today. Or I can't. I won't be back on the podcast, and Daryl's going to have to. Him and Ramon are the new co-hosts. I will just be a bi-monthly guest at that point.
Oh, Lord have mercy. But look, before we get to the great Justin Herbert, let's talk about yesterday. Let's talk about the gunslinging festival for the Rams and Carolina Panthers.
Okay. You want to go there first? Okay.
Yeah, that's the first game. Let's go in order.
Yeah. I love what Bryce Young did yesterday. Obviously, they kind of had to come back in that one, and they fought back, just fell short. Obviously, as you put it, you said it, and I agree with you. The defense, they gave up the game there at the end, and the Rams move on to the next round. I mean, man, that would have shook up everything if the Rams would have gotten out, because I think me and you both agree the Rams are still the favorites to win, to come out of the NFC. I think Seattle is right behind them as well. But props to the Rams, but props to the Panthers. I mean, at this point, I think people don't realize when you look at how the NFC South ended, it actually ended in a 3-way tie between Carolina, Tampa Bay, and Atlanta, 8-9, 8-9, 8-9. This division is shaping up to be better next year with all 3 of these teams. I think can be over 500. Obviously, Atlanta is going to be the biggest question mark there because of the quarterback situation. Is Penix going to be healthy or not? You look at Tampa Bay. unless somebody starts to regress, Mike Evans, Godwin, if they can stay a bit more healthier this year and not fall off a cliff after week 7 playing wise, they should be back in the mix, right? And then Carolina, I mean, this right now is probably the betting favorite to win the NFC South next year, all things considered, because they're going to go into the draft. They're going to draft guys to hopefully help, fill in those extra spots. We'll see what they do in free agency. Bryce Young he's got the number 9 on, so I'll just say he's playing like Drew Brees. That's the bet, since he's got the 9 on.
The same size too.
Federoa McMillan, really good rookie season from him. He's playing like a wide receiver 1. I've got nothing to say about the Panthers other than props, because this was probably a year. They probably were a year away from getting to this point, and they did it a little bit earlier. We had both of us had the Panthers fairly low in our NFL preseason power rankings, and here they are getting to the playoffs and giving the Rams one hell of a fight in the wild card. So nothing but props to the Rams. We talk about winning ugly and losing pretty. I think the Carolina Panthers can walk away with this one and be okay.
Well, everybody talked about how they backed into it. They didn't win their last game. They needed the Saints to lose and Atlanta to win to be the division winner. All that doesn't matter. It's where you at the end of the day. They were in the playoffs, and Tampa Bay wasn't. And they represented themselves well. They're a young team with a young coach, man. And the sky's the limit. The thing is in NFL is we've seen this before. A team come out of nowhere, bang, they're awesome. Then we think, oh man, they're on the uptick for next year. They turn around and wind up being 5-12. Yeah. So they've got to stay the course, stay on the game plan. Bryce Young, they're going to pick up Bryce Young's 5th-year option to buy themselves some time from a contractual perspective. So that won't be an issue. I still think they need to get a receiver to replace Leggett. Granted, I like Leggett. I love his country draw. He rode his horse to the game yesterday. Xavier Leggett from South Carolina. Awesome dude, right? Awesome dude. He just hasn't materialized like I thought he would have. And this would be a great time for Steve Smith Sr. to be a Carolina Panther right now. If Steve Smith Sr. is a Carolina Panther yesterday, they win the game. So I think receiving is a piece. Continue to strengthen that defense, which has gotten better and better. But I think there's nothing to hold your head down about. Think about this: 2.5 years ago, Bryce Young was benched and said, "Is this going to be it for him?" Him hitting guys open on the money and then running for that touchdown to put the team ahead was awesome. Yeah, you lost, but you got to at least put some pressure on that team, and they did. They put a lot of pressure on the Rams. So good for them, but give Rams all the credit. They were on the road, not the best weather, outdoors. They drove down there and punched them in the face and said, "Get up out of here." So give the Rams all the credit. Give McVay, who I think is still the mentally between the ears, the best coach in the NFL. That dude, I'm talking about from a scheme perspective. I'm not talking about motivation and all that stuff like that. I'm talking about just putting the best foot forward for your offensive team to win. I think McVay is still that guy, man. And he showed it yesterday. He showed composure. He's got a veteran quarterback who's seen everything. That helps a lot. He's got a veteran receiver. And then you've got Puka Nacua, who, Lord have mercy, that dude's a monster. And unfortunately for me, I've got the 7th pick in our fantasy draft next year, so he'll be way gone for me. I wish I could trade up and for the 1st or 2nd pick, I would grab Puka Nacua. He finds a way to get the ball every time. And when there's a need, he finds a way. He had a drop yesterday, and that was tough, but he made up for it. Mm-hmm. So kudos to the Rams, man. They're on to the next.
Yeah, and now we move on to the next game, and man, there's this clip that the Bears posted on their official social media.
No audio.
I'm not gonna. But of Ben Johnson in the locker room, I'm not pulling it up. He said, "F the Packers, F them. I hate those guys." That's what we need. That's how you really feel. We're back. We're officially back. When sports is that good, when we got head coaches going in the locker room talking about that, and this is a rivalry that's worth it. That's like when the Lakers play the Celtics in the finals. Cowboys play the Eagles in the playoffs or they play the Niners. That's the type of energy we need in the NFL playoffs and the NBA. When you play your rival and you beat them and you get in the locker room, I love the energy from Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears. And the Chicago Bears, you know, they're talking about moving to Indiana, right? They're starting to get some of that Indiana devil magic that the Pacers got with all these comeback wins that they've had all year, Daryl. Props to the Bears. Props to the Bears and props to Caleb Williams.
Hey, kudos to my boy Tony Z down in Tampa, Florida. Posted a picture of him and his beautiful daughter and wife all in their bear gear yesterday, and all he said was "bear down." And man, all they did the whole game, they fought through adversity. And Ben Johnson can say Golden State, F Green Bay all he wants. But he looked like a shorter version of Dan Campbell in that second and third quarter by going for it and not making it happen, right? You know, Caleb Downs, please go to one of my teams.
Future Cowboy,
Caleb Williams. Yes, he's an emotional dude. He was PO'd. He was slammed his helmet. He was sitting by himself. He was PO'd. But when he got between the lines, he didn't sulk. He didn't look mad.
That throw on fourth down, Daryl.
Dude, like money. But, my only knock against Caleb, man, he's got to lay up off that fastball, man. He missed some guys last night that he should.
He slings it.
He is Goose Gossett. You don't know who this guy is, but you can Google him. Goose Gossett. He is just gas. New York Yankees, great closer in the 70s. Gas. Rich Gossett, Goose. He's gas. It wasn't any. He's got to get some touch on the ball because he missed guys last night where he shouldn't have. But then he hit guys because of the fastball. So he hurt his ankle. I forget what quarter it was. He was backing out. It was on a fourth down play, and he twisted his ankle. No medical attention came to him. He sat on the sideline with his coat on, looked like he was PO'd. And he's like, yeah, I'm not quitting. And he didn't quit. He didn't quit. All the naysayers, he's a system guy. He's what do they say? He's a runner, a gunslinger running around. And I take a gunslinger running around and winning in a playoff game where you were down 2 possessions with less than 5 minutes to go. Yeah. And you didn't have the ball. So you got to give that man all the credit in the world, along with his teammates, to not continue to stop. You know, his coach had faith in him, but man, oh man, Caleb Williams, the real deal.
And I've been saying it since draft night, even though they had a bad season. I was like, man, you can't tell me Caleb Williams ain't going to be successful. He's got way too much talent.
Man, he is beyond. He can get out of the pocket. He puts the ball on a rope. And I know some people may want to knock this, but that ball coming out of a Bears quarterback jersey looks a lot like Cutler when his first couple years when he left Denver and went to Chicago. Cutler had a strong arm as well too, and it looks like that ball just pops out of his arm, man. It just zoom.
I mean, I
love it.
With him and Ben, I mean, I'm not going to say no Super Bowl, right? But I will say, I mean, Caleb should go down as the greatest Bears quarterback of all time. And there's not a long list of great Bears quarterbacks. Like,
hold on a minute. We got to be.
I'm not being careful. I'm not being careful.
Well, the numbers are great, but you got to win, though. Numbers are great, but you got to win.
He's already got a better record than Herbert in the playoffs. So there you go.
That's not saying much. I mean, Herbert's never won a game in the playoffs.
He's already off.
A lot of guys got a better record.
He's going to have a better record than Dak, too. Yeah.
Oh, you find a way to throw in Herbert and Dak. And we could be talking about tennis, and you can say, you know what? That tennis ball reminds me of Mississippi State when Dak was
That was pretty good.
But no, man. But listen, give Mr. Williams some credit. My guys, they're in Illinois and Chicago fans. Give them credit, man. Yeah. They stood by this guy. They talked him up. And the Bears won that streak earlier in the year. People were doubting that and being dismissive of it. All they've done is just balled out, man. And coming back last night, they were down 21-3.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Most teams quit.
And surprise, surprise, Ramon is not here to.
Well, listen.
Bears fans were.
Listen, it's awfully ironic sometimes when Ramon has to eat crow. All of a sudden, he's invisible. Yes, Ramon, I'm gonna clip that.
You know what?
So
Hold on.
post that.
You know what? He was here after the Ohio State game, so I won't go on him too much about the Bears stuff.
No, I am. The hell with that. He ain't here today. He talked about the Bears. He talked about Ole Miss. He talked about dismissive of Indiana. Come on here and own it, Ramon. You know you out there somewhere. You probably watching, but peekaboo watching. Nah, get on out here. Own this. Remember? Let's get out here. Hey, I remember, I'm old enough to remember being told that this was the Buckeye Invitational. The problem is the Buckeyes weren't invited.
I remember
they eating popcorn and drinking Capri Suns right now.
I do remember this being called the Buckeye Invitational.
But at the end of the day, football is here right now. Yes, it's fleeting. And as I said before we went on air, man, think about it, man. We got less than 30 days, man. Less than 30 days.
You'll be all right, man.
I'm gonna need some counseling. I'm gonna need something. I'll give my email address. If there's a group to reach out to that's struggling when football is gone, please reach out to me. I'm gonna be a part of that group because this has been one hell of a football season as a whole. From August to now, man, I couldn't have asked for much more. Other than being my Tide in Indiana in the final game. Now that would be amazing.
We're playing basketball. You love that basketball. That's what I'm worried about. That's all
oh my God,
that's what I'm worried about.
It's coming for sure, man. But here's what I'm gonna feel like on January 9th. On February 9th.
And then we're going to come back here on Monday or Sunday, and I'm going to title it Football Be Damned. It's time to talk hoops. Yeah! That's what I'm going to do.
But no, all is good, man. I think this season has shown us that obviously college football has changed. The landscape has changed forever.
For the better.
Forever, right? And I know there's a lot of anger about players getting paid. I know we already hit that a little bit. But it'll work itself out, you all. It'll work itself out, and we're the winners. Well, unless you got to go to the game and pay those high prices. The prices are going up. But if you got a Fire Stick, you're okay. Wink, wink. So with that said, I'm sit back and watch these games and enjoy. So we're the winners, and let's make this the best end of the college football season we can by the Indiana Hoosiers beating the Miami Hurricanes on January 19th, 2026 for the national title. And if that happens, there's only one school that has an undefeated basketball champion and an undefeated football champion in the modern era, and that'd be the Indiana Hoosiers. Yeah. Only one school, 2 teams, basketball and football. Count it out, y'all. Come to me. Come to me, haters. Come to me. I got my facts right. Only one team. That'd be the Hoosiers. Undefeated. Modern era. I'm not talking about 1918 and Red Grange and Army and all. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking when we were alive. Mm-hmm. So if the Hoosiers can get it done, and of course,
we're ready.
Hey, I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let you have your Justin Herbert eye in the sky, because you're gonna have to come back on here either tomorrow or the day after if they don't win.
We're ready to go.
So have at it.
I pledge allegiance to Justin Herbert in the NFL playoffs and to the Chargers, for which it stands, one quarterback, under God, individual, to win the Super Bowl, and justice for the NFL. Thank you. Hey, man, today's the day. Today is the day on Sunday Night Football. Now, remember, if you all remember, it's like a contract, and you put the smallest detail in writing. I did say if it is below 50 degrees, I don't know if the Chargers are going to win the game today.
What's the temperature? You know what the temperature is?
I haven't looked yet because I'm not going to look till game time.
But I'm going to look.
Okay,
I
check
want.
right now. But
I'm curious. I'm exceedingly curious.
I am ready to watch Justin Herbert and the Chargers take the field. As with the Cowboys not being in the playoffs and the Bengals not being in the playoffs, Justin Herbert is probably without question my probably one of my top 5 favorite players in the NFL. So I am rooting heavy for the Chargers. I don't really get nervous for teams that aren't the Cowboys, the Lakers, or anything Indiana related, other than the losers in Notre Dame. I don't root for any. I root for almost every other Indiana team in Indiana, other than those losers that preside in South Bend.
Well,
but
I'm gonna give you 2 parts here, right? First,
okay.
let me give you the. No, I'm gonna reply to this first. I get you on the Indiana part. I'm a Hoosier guy.
Yeah.
I don't like Purdue. I don't like Notre Dame, but I also love me some Grace College. And I got Scott Moore is still taking care of business. Grace College, baby. Do not sleep on Grace College.
I'm not a big Purdue fan either, but I don't necessarily hate them.
Well, here's the if you're an Indiana fan, you can't like Purdue. That goes against everything. So big Indiana fan, no thanks to Purdue. But with that said, the weather for your boys at kickoff, 8:00 kickoff, 36 degrees and 12-mile-per-hour winds. 9 o'clock, same temperature and same wind. The wind picks up as the game goes on. So, mid 30s. It won't be freezing, but it's gonna be a nice breeze. And I'm not talking about Drew Brees either.
Man, it's gonna be interesting. I've got my excuse for when we come back on the show, but I've got full belief in the Chargers tonight. Run the ball. You know, if you want to pass, but run the ball. Establish the run. I know that's one of Jim Harbaugh's biggest things, establishing the run. Establish the run defense. Chargers have one of the best pass defenses in the NFL. Everyone's been attacking the Patriots for their weak schedule. So it's all going to come to a head here in this game tonight. I don't even care about the other two. I mean, listen, Daryl.
What are you kidding? What's wrong with you?
Listen. I'm interested, right? We get to watch Super Josh in action early at 1:00, and then listen, the creme de la creme. I get to either watch the Eagles lose or the San Francisco 49ers lose. If it were up to me, I hope the game goes to like 8 overtimes and the NFL says, you know what, you both are out of the playoffs. You know, that's what I really hope for. I don't want to see either of these two losers go to the next round. But if I really had to pick in my deepest hate of hate, who do I hate more?
The hate is real.
I really hope that your boy, Jalen Hurts, my divisional rival, I hope that the Eagles win today, because nothing would make me more happy. And it's not even because of Ramon being a Niners fan. That doesn't even bother me. It's because I watched this team knock us out of the playoffs 3 years in a row. And I just want to see Fraud Purdy have a Fraud Purdy performance today.
Man, listen. I'm gonna let you have your shine right there. But I want to go to Bills and Jaguars. I want to talk about the Bills and having
a duel.
Their running back led the league in rushing this year. Mm-hmm. You know that.
Yeah, James Cook.
James Cook got gifted by the Indianapolis Colts. JT was head and shoulders best running back in the league. The Colts, whatever they did, I don't know if it was contractual. I don't know if there was some type of a bonus play in there, but there's no reason for James Cook to have won the rushing title this year over JT in Indianapolis. I don't want to get too deep into that, but another story. They're in Jacksonville. Your boy, Josh, he's been big. He's got big numbers. You know, Mahomes isn't there. Jackson isn't there. Okay? He's going against Sunshine. Weather won't be an issue. If he doesn't win, and I don't like to say he, it has to be the team, but if Buffalo does not win that game today, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to light up Josh like a Christmas tree. I'm going to light him up like a Christmas tree. Be ready. Because all I've heard all week, how great. You just said Superman. Oh, he's a difference maker. He's a running back that has a great throwing skill. Blah, 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 blah. Much better than Jackson. So much more to offer. Better downfield throwing. They better win today. I don't have a rooting interest, but if they don't win today, he's gonna get it. Just tell you, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get all the smoke. Because if they win, he's gonna get all the credit. I'm gonna share that blame. So they better come out ready to fight. That defense that they got, it reminds me somewhat of Swiss cheese. So he better put a lot of points up. He better put a lot of points up. I don't have a rooting interest either way. But if he doesn't, I'm gonna be remembering and pulling receipts from all those people the last 2 years talking about how much better of a quarterback he was than anybody else.
It reminds me of Swiss cheese.
This is his time. This is his time. Second game, Eagles 49ers. The last time these two teams played, Brock Purdy hurt his arm, and that gave the Eagles a chance to go on to the Super Bowl. And of course, they lost in the Super Bowl to Kansas City that year.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy's healthy. They're in Philadelphia. It's going to be a little chilly, not snow. Philadelphia Eagles have struggled all year offensively.
Go Eagles.
Putting up points all year. Number 11 on the sideline, reading a book. Not going to say his name, but his team lost this past week, by the way, in the college football finals. Sit back and I want to help my team win. All I want to do is be successful. The team was winning. You weren't getting a lot of run.
Yeah.
Your best games came on losses. Stay in your lane. Be more like your sidekick on the other side, Mr. Devontae Smith. Be more like him. Be a professional. Stop crying. Stop whining. You'll get the ball when it's your turn. If they can keep that dynamic in play, get the ball to Devontae Smith, who's the guy who's not going to have drops, who's not going to pout. They're at home. They're going to need that crowd because the 49ers offense is legitimate. It's real. And I don't want to hear about injuries. Everybody got injuries this time of year. I don't want to hear how Trent, their left tackle's hurt. He don't play defense. He's not defensive backfield. He's not a linebacker. He's not calling plays. He was out against the Bears, and they put, I think, 40 on the Bears.
Yeah.
So they've got an opportunity today. They got a better offensive team. They got a mastermind at coach. No excuse. You should win that. With all the turmoil that's going on in Philadelphia, this should be you're talking about 2 touchdowns in that Indiana-Miami. This should be a 2-touchdown game based off of all we've seen, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's my thought on that. And then the night game, Patriots and Chargers. Hey, this could get ugly quick. These type of games, these night games for these upstart teams coming into a cold weather time frame who haven't done it, it could get away from them. Of the 3 games, this has a chance to be a blowout. And when I say a blowout, I mean the home team blowing out the away team. It absolutely has a chance. Because you know why? Because we've seen this movie before. Young upstart team goes in other, and then boom, before you know it, it's 14-0 before you blink. Then what do?
You can't be speaking that out into the open. Hell,
as much negativity you speak.
You can't be doing that, man. You can't be doing that.
I'm just saying. Listen, the great thing for me in these 3 games, well, take that back. The wild card game, 49ers and Eagles, I do have a rooting interest. I want the Eagles to win, and I want the Eagles to go back to back. Absolutely, because I know you don't. I love Jalen Hurts that much. Huge fan. But the Chargers and Patriots. What'd you say?
Nothing.
Don't worry, I hear it on the recording. But with that said, I don't have a rooting interest in the night game.
Yeah,
but it could get away from them, man. It could get away from them. I'm just telling you. It's just,
I don't know about that.
Well, okay. Tell me where you've seen it opposite. Where an upstart young team,
Man, I don't even need to think about that. Matt, look, I'll love to Drake May, but it's the playoffs, young buck. You're not ready for tonight. Mike Vrabel. If they win tonight, it's because Mike Vrabel is one of the best head coaches in the NFL. That is why.
Drake May could be the MVP this year, man.
It's Matthew Stafford.
Fine. I didn't say. Listen. Stop.
No. I'm only saying that. I'm only saying that because I want the Chargers to win. He's got. I know. That's why I said stop. Drake May could be the MVP. And if I had my choice to pick right now
First pick of the you're talking about the Patriots and the Chargers. First pick would be Drake May. It wouldn't be Billy Herbert. It wouldn't be Billy Herbert. All right, nothing. It wouldn't be Billy Herbert.
Disrespectful. Can't believe what I'm hearing. Can't believe what I'm hearing right now.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just trying to help you out. I'm just trying to have you understand where I'm coming from on this thing, man.
Hey, bolt up. It's time. Tonight, Chargers are going to get to the next round. And then Denver, we coming for you. Because I think they'd have to play Denver based off, if Philly wins.
Well, it depends. It depends on the Buffalo Jags game.
Yeah. So, we'll see what happens. But come on, Herbert. Please. If you don't even if you don't win, just play well to where, maybe Daryl can't come on here and jump me on Monday.
I'm not going to jump you if they lose or not. We're on this show. We just talk about facts, not feelings. We have a little bit of fun.
So if Herbert plays the best game of his career tomorrow night and it's a shootout and they fall short, what are you going to say tomorrow?
I'm going to say he played great, but they lost.
The better team won. Okay.
Right. See, I could say, well, the temperature was low and I could give you like 17 excuses like people do, but what good does that do? Listen, I'm not here to try to make myself feel good about a team losing. We got to be fair and balanced.
Look, this isn't the Lakers, so I'm not going to be that heartbroken if the Chargers lose. I want them to win for what I've said here on the pod, but other than that, I'm not. If they lose tomorrow, I'm not going to come on here and be like, "Well, this happened and this happened." Unless Justin Herbert gets hurt, I literally just hope they win.
Since you brought this up as we pivot, you brought up the Lakers. What's with Luka Doncic having my boy from Germany coming to the locker room trying to find him?
Schroeder?
Yeah, he got suspended for. Listen. We can say what we want. You can say, he's a hater. For him to go after your boy that bad,
I have no clue.
Those have to be some real words.
I have no clue. I have no idea.
Schroeder's an even keel guy. He's not a nutcase.
Well,
everyone since he was back in Atlanta. Ask Jeff T.
Yeah.
He's a balanced dude, and for him to get suspended for 3 games, something had to be said that wasn't quite right.
In that case, let me ask you about this quote that happened last night. The extender, as I call him, Scott Foster's in hot water again.
Oh, yeah, I thought
him and Jason Kidd got into it, and Jason Kidd said, "Quote: You always do this, Scott. You cheated the Pacers all the way throughout the finals last year. Don't cheat me." He said, "Dumbass." There we go. He said that at the end. What are your thoughts on that quote? And guess who they were playing? OKC.
let me share this. First and foremost, I'm gonna be official here. I think NBA refereeing is the worst in any professional sports. I think the league helps dictate how they love star players and how they give guys breaks. Jason Kidd, you got breaks when you were a champion. You got breaks when you were balling out yourself. Okay, when you were in New Jersey, I remember playing New Jersey in I think it was the Eastern Conference Finals, and the Pacers got the short end of the stick when he was in New Jersey. Okay, so you're a star player when you played. That's what happened. You got star player calls. Nothing changed. I could give a damn what Jason Kidd said. It means nothing to me. All he said was what we've already been seeing for years. So him whining about it, gnat on the dog's ass to me. So what he got ejected? We all know what's going on with the NBA refereeing. We all see it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, and I don't believe the NBA is refereeing to help this team win or this team win. I believe that the NBA has a star power issue. They want their stars to be stuck out there because you won't hear anywhere else say, well, that guy hasn't been in the league long enough to earn that call. The caller is not. There's no rule book that says you must be in the league for this amount of time to get that call other than NBA. Yeah. So doesn't matter. That means nothing to me. I mean, it's not even news to me. I mean, for me, that's just me because my distrust in the dynamic of the NBA and their officiating.
Yeah. I want to I do want to give my condolences to NBA referee Bill Kennedy. He got hurt a couple nights ago. That is a big loss for Oklahoma City. Losing one of their teammates this season. So I want to wish their condolences there. Obviously, I know it's hard on the Thunder when they can't get those calls, because now you see how they're getting. You see how now they're letting other teams play the same defense on OKC, and now OKC isn't all big and bad anymore. Where was June?
We talked about that some weeks ago, and all you can ever ask for is give us the same whistle.
Yep. They're now looking OKC.
A mid player like Lou Dort, like he's a lockdown defender by grab. Let others grab as well.
Caruso.
Lou Dort is not a lockdown defender. He's a good defender, but when you're allowed to hold, you become great. He's not Michael Cooper. Yeah. He's not Andrew Nembhard. Okay.
Yeah.
So those guys are defenders. This guy, he's gonna body you up and fit. Stop. This is the softest part of the NBA. Well, he just now you were asking for physical. Now no, that's not physical. Everybody's not allowed to do it. If everyone's allowed to do it, it'd be different. Don't grab and hold these guys. If it's freedom of movement, let them be freedom of movement. So from my perspective on that, I get a lot of people are outraged about Scott Foster calling the extender. Hell, however many NBA referees they've got, they're all extenders to me. They just I know that's not popular, but hey, so be it, man.
I get it. But all I'm saying is when your small market team is in a game 7 against New York, LA, or whatever, and Scott Foster's the referee, just know you're losing. That's basically when I see Scott Foster's about to officiate for the Lakers. I have a feeling we're probably going to get a win that night. So that's the best way I look at it. Let's go back to NFL. We'll talk NBA. We'll talk NBA at the very end of the show. Real quick, Daryl, I want to pull up this graphic for you. Because now don't throw up. This is a pretty. I mean, they need to put
keyboard. I can't throw. I got. They need
to put a warning on this graphic that I'm about to show you. Okay.
Okay.
Like I may not even be. I shouldn't even put this on screen. It's that bad. Like it's pretty bad. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Look at that. That's disgusting. Look. I mean, they might as well interview Adam Gase, and they can complete their horrible head coaching interviews. Look how disgusting this is. Only good one there is probably Stefanski. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, that's gross. That's just gross. That is disgusting. If I'm Cam Ward, I'm requesting a trade. This is horrible.
Well, first of all, Cam Ward's got to be a better player if we can start thinking about requesting a trade. He was as mid could be as well. That's not act like he did something special, right?
This is not going to make him any better. This is horrible. This is absolutely horrible.
But here's the thing.
It's honestly laughable how bad this is.
I wouldn't say laughable. I think these guys have good acumen about what they're doing. It's about who you hire as your assistant. Head coaches are great, but how do you fill out the rest of your coaching team, right? I know you said Stefanski. I mean, what makes him better than these other guys?
He does have some playoff wins, right? I think he has 2 with the Browns that year.
So we gonna talk about his last 2 years in, or are we going no?
No, you make a good point. Yeah, I'm just bringing up what makes him. You just asked what makes him credible, so that's what I brought up. I mean,
well, if that's the case, Spagnuolo's got Super Bowls under his belt as a defensive coordinator, and he was a head coach, right? Then you got Jason Garrett, who was a highly talented offensive coordinator, highly talented, knows the game in and out, ex-quarterback. Vance Joseph was really, really good in Denver. Got kind of the short end of the stick as a head coach. So I wouldn't say that these guys are bums at all. They've got something to them. I just think it's who you surround yourself with to complete your coaching team. That's what's going to matter. Your assistants, who you've got, because head coach can only do one thing. His assistants are going to be the guys who make that difference, right? So, there may be somebody else that comes about. There may be a college coach that comes about. I understand guys got big contracts and all that like that, But look at all these openings that we've got, right? Somebody's going to say this guy didn't get this opening, so now he's going to come and interview at Tennessee. Maybe someone interviews really badly, and says, we don't want him. Then all of a sudden, Tennessee lucks into a guy.
I still think, man, this is pretty bad. I
know everybody loves the Harbaugh thing, but
this is
I
get what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you on Harbaugh, but it says something when Harbaugh and the Ravens part ways, and then they both immediately become the best options available, like on the market. It does say something.
You got an MVP quarterback. You got a receiving group that's really good. You got a defense that's aging but still pretty good. You got a better team set for you than any other teams that lost their coach.
And then Harbaugh, Harbaugh's got the resume, obviously, compared to all the other candidates.
18 years at one place, it's kudos. Wonderful, that's great. But he also wet the bed in game 1 of the season against Buffalo. And I on this show, I said it. I said, he's a panic-stricken coach. And he looked like he's constipated. And the owner said, we've been in this thing, right? We've had the players, we've had the team, and we still didn't get it done.
Yeah, Raven fans, they said it best. They were like, I'd rather Lamar stay here and never win a Super Bowl than Lamar go somewhere else and get it done, and we keep John Harbaugh. So I think the Ravens made the right move. We will see where Harbaugh ends up. What is your thoughts on Mike McDaniel getting fired by Miami? And it seems like a lot of Detroit Lions fans want him in Detroit as the offensive coordinator. Do you think that helps Miami rather than hurts him? Because McDaniel is an offensive-minded coach.
Yeah, but my problem with Miami is
that Dolphins offense was explosive for the first couple of years. They had Tyreek.
First 2 years in the playoffs. They beat Denver, I think 72-16 or something like that. 3 years ago. So,
and then that first year in the playoffs, they played Kansas City. It was like -2.
Right.
I get it, circumstances, but it's still a Miami team going into that environment.
Listen,
we kind of knew the result.
Listen, I hate to say this because this is my dude, Tua. Love me some Tua. But Tua's limited, man. I think that's what created the problem for Miami. Yes, he had those concussions. That was tough. He bounced back from that. I think he played all games that he was healthy for to play, except for the last two when he was benched. But he's limited from a physical perspective. He's probably got one of the weaker arms, and they do a lot of the crossing pattern stuff, right? And teams are playing up on that, and it is affecting them. That when you lose Tyreek Hill, one of the fastest guys in the NFL, and then you got Jalen, and you got Achane. But what it did, it limited them to what they could do down the field, and it showed. He needs elite receivers for him to be successful. He's a complimentary quarterback. Yeah. I'm talking about Tua. Love him to death. Love all the wonderful stuff about him. But he's a complimentary quarterback. I don't think he can put a team on his shoulder and win a game. That's the challenge, right? And I think that was the issue. But getting to McDaniel, my issue with McDaniel is I just don't think he comes off and has players take him seriously. He mumbles around in interviews. He was caught vaping on the sideline a couple times. I just don't think people can ultimately. Yeah, he was great in the honeymoon period. Remember when he got there and Tua said, "Finally got me a coach that talked to me with respect," versus the coach who's in Minnesota now as a defensive coordinator. And that's all great, right?
Yeah.
But the novelty wore off, and all of a sudden you come into press conference with your britched leg pulled up, and you're mumbling and just talking in circles, and you got dark glasses on, looking like I just think he wore his welcome out, and they weren't able to win. So I don't think he got the short end of the stick. I think he's a good offensive mind and better off being an offensive coordinator than a head coach, a leader of men.
So it seems like Matt LaFleur could be gone. Obviously, we'll see what happens. Schefter talked about it this morning on NFL, the postseason countdown show. It seems like the Packers have an interest in Harbaugh as well. I think for LaFleur, I think for Matt LaFleur, my biggest thing for LaFleur is I think LaFleur has never been in the good graces of Packer fans since he made the call, and him and the owner made the call to draft Jordan Love when they still had Rodgers for like on a 3-year deal or whatever. I think Packer fans have never been fond of Matt LaFleur. I don't think they like Matt LaFleur because nobody wanted Rodgers gone when they drafted Jordan Love. And I get this is the Packers thing. They draft a quarterback very prematurely so they can sit down and do whatever. But it only rushed the Aaron Rodgers process. So I think for Packer fans, I think this only angered them more than anything. So I think they personally would want to see Matt LaFleur go. And when you look at Matt LaFleur's career as a head coach at this point, NFC championship loss, NFC championship loss, NFC championship loss, divisional loss. I mean, the guy hasn't gotten it done yet. Now, he's very young, so I think he could get to that point. So I'm not going to sit here and say he's not a good head coach. He is a really good head coach. It may be time to move on to a greener pasture.
I don't know.
Replacing him for Harbaugh is questionable because they both have the same resume. I mean, Harbaugh won one Super Bowl a decade ago.
Yeah, here's my problem with the LaFleur thing, right? He, along with the coach in Cincinnati, these analytics quarterbacks, right? They play the analytics game over the top, and he's done the same thing with Green Bay early in the season when they ran Josh Jacobs in the ground, right? To me, there's a place in the NFL for analytics, and I get it. I'll get all that. But some of these guys, they live on the analytics, and he and the Cincinnati coach live on the analytics. I just don't think it's a winning formula, regardless of your quarterback. I just don't, right? But I think he's a young guy, and I wouldn't. For me, if I'm Green Bay, I keep the young guy. Let him grow with your quarterback. He's going to have to learn and continue to learn and get better as a play caller, because he's a play caller. Remember, he's a play caller. But I mean, give him credit, man. He's the team had, just like everybody else, had decimated injuries this year. They had a lead. They let the lead go. True enough. But I wouldn't say LaFleur has to go and bring somebody else in. I would say this young coach, allow him to grow with that young quarterback. That's what I would say. And I'm not a LaFleur guy. I'm not an analytics guy, but I don't think you can do incrementally better if you get rid of LaFleur and you bring someone else in.
Well, I will happily welcome Matt LaFleur into Dallas to become our defensive coordinator. I will
You mean offensive coordinator?
No, defensive coordinator. We fired Eberflus. He's
but LaFleur's an offensive guy though.
I will welcome him in with open arms. Come on down to Dallas.
I don't know, unless somebody makes a call this morning. I think LaFleur is safe this
I
year.
do too. I do too. Yeah,
but I mean,
I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked, but it's floating around while I'm scrolling through Twitter. I like
people listen. It's the morning
Schefter's
after,
talking
right?
about it on today, so I'm like, all right, well,
it's the morning after, and I get that. I get the morning after. Let the dust settle a little bit. But to that point, with LaFleur, if LaFleur is gone, your question's got to be, who is replacing him?
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about that a lot, but it's got to be somebody you think is better.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Look at the list you just showed, right? Even the Harbaugh thing. I don't think any of the coaches, the big name coaches that are out there are better than LaFleur.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a Green Bay Packer fan on. They can share a little bit more specific, but I don't think there's anyone that much better.
Yeah. I think another name to look out for that could get hired, and I think he will, is the Seahawks offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak. I think he's a guy that I could see going to Atlanta. I know he's interviewing with Miami. They put it out on their social medias. I'm scrolling through Schefter's Twitter just to kind of update us and give us some other interviews. So yeah, Clint Kubiak interviewed for the Falcons job as well. I think I would like to see him go. I said on my Twitter, I think the Falcons, I wish they could get Harbaugh, but it looks like Harbaugh's probably heading to New York, in my opinion. I think they either go for the Seahawks offensive coordinator or maybe the Rams, one of the Rams coordinators as well. I know the Rams coordinators have been talked about for the last couple of years, maybe Atlanta can poach one of them. I think Kubiak is one of the more sought after guys, though, in this coaching carousel with what he's doing in Seattle right now. Obviously, you've got other coordinators that are going to be in the mix. I think I think there's two spots that I feel in my head that are already locked up, and that is Harbaugh to New York. I think that's one of them. I think the other one is Brian Flores to the Raiders. I think that one's done as well. And the other one that I'm starting to become more and more confident on, but obviously the Ravens are just beginning their process. Stefanski is interviewing for the Ravens job. You look at what Stefanski is. He is an offensive-minded coach. I think the Ravens need more of a defensive-minded coach. We'll see where they go. If Stefanski does go to Baltimore, I'm really curious to see how he does with a quarterback. A quarterback he's quite frankly never had, a roster that he's never really had. He's had a really good defense because Cleveland has Myles Garrett and they've had a good defense. But offensively, and a guy that's very offensive-minded, I don't think Stefanski would do a bad job. And I don't really blame him for the whole Dillon Gabriel Shadur thing. I know he took a lot of flack for what happened, but that's
you're the head coach. You're the head coach.
Yeah,
if it went great, you get the credit. So we got to make sure we give it like we take it, right?
Yeah, I'm putting that to the wayside, and I'm trying to take it out of my mind because it's very ingrained in there just because it was talked about so much. But if I'm looking at him from his coaching perspective and what he did when the Cleveland organization, because I am of the belief that he did not want Deshaun Watson. I truly do believe that. If I'm looking at it from that perspective, I think Stefanski is a good head coach, and I think he could do well in Baltimore, but I really don't know where Baltimore is going to go. I mean, this would be the fourth head coach in Ravens history, which is crazy. I didn't know that until now. I'm really curious to see where Baltimore's goes. Daryl, do you have a guess or some predictions of where teams are going to end up and where coaches are going to end up?
Well, I think Stefanski has a real opportunity to be in Baltimore, right? I think he absolutely has a real opportunity. But my issue with that is this. When he was on the podium and there was talk about Shadur and Gabriel, he did not take the lead as the leader of that team. He deflected. He was minimal in his communication. He didn't say a whole lot at all, one way or the other. And then that left people to assume. And I know you saw it on your social, because I know I did too when we talked about it. Oh, he doesn't want Shadur to succeed. I don't remember seeing a clip of us hearing him say he wanted Shadur to succeed. I think he spoke volumes by not saying much. You're the head coach, man. It doesn't matter what the owner said. Hey, if I would have known this or whatever the case may be, that's your guy. And for you to not stand up there on the podium and protect him and let him get, try to get ate up by the wolves, that's on the coach. That's leadership. And for me, I want a leader better than I want an X and O guy, because we can get offensive guys and defensive guys and all that. But your head coach is your leader. And if he can't stand up there on that podium and speak to what's going on, to the elephant in the room, that says something to me about his leadership. So for me, I wouldn't want Stefanski because I don't see him as being the guy that stands up there and is a leader like Mike Tomlin does. He stands up there and takes all the heat.
Yeah.
We had an episode this year about him getting booed in Pittsburgh. And what happened? He sat up there and said, I would boo me too. I'd be disappointed too, and I'd be cussing. He owned everything. Yeah. I'm sorry, I haven't seen Stefanski own anything.
Yeah. Well, I've got a couple of reports here from Diana Rossini of The Athletic, along with Ian O'Connor, also from The Athletic. Obviously, The Athletic, well-trusted amongst the sports realm. So just to kind of give you an idea of where Harbaugh's where his head is at. So talking about the Titans real quick, Diana Rossini put out in head coach interviews with the Titans and the Giants, one of the first three questions asked was, what's your plan for our quarterback? Another one from Ian O'Connor is, with Harbaugh and his choices, Giants, Falcons, Titans, and Dolphins are kind of the main ones there. And then another one is that John Harbaugh is spending the next few days watching film on Jackson Dart and Cam Ward, and that is per Diana Rossini. So Harbaugh is clearly looking at all his options. I saw the Browns are also an option, but I don't really know how much the Browns are going to be a real contender for him. I think when you're Harbaugh, if he wants, when you're Miami, and obviously the money, he'll get his money. I think for Harbaugh, I don't think he wants to go into a situation where he has to reset. I think he wants to walk into a situation where the team is more than likely already there. Now, I think now that's just my guess, but with Tennessee, obviously it would be more of a fix, right? You do have to, you've got your quarterback. That's step one. Where let's look at the other two situations, and I'll bring Miami here in a bit. Look at Atlanta and New York. Mostly completed rosters, right? Atlanta's defense is good. Their offense is a three-headed monster of Pitts, London, and Robinson, and then you got Penix at quarterback. New York, Neighbors has got to come back healthy. Dart, there's a lot of health there, but it seems like Dart, they're going to roll with Dart, right? Because they're not going to get the first pick. And you've got Neighbors, and you've got, hopefully, Scottaboo can come back, I hope. Atlanta's probably the most completed roster out of all those options, right? And if he really wants a fresh start, a chance to maybe bring in his own quarterback, you go to Miami, you trade Tua, what do you do with Tyreek Hill? There's a lot of questions.
They're not going to trade Tua. They're going to cut Tua.
Or waive him,
because in this NFL piece, that money's a huge number, man. Yeah. No one's going to be able to take on that number because he's got 3 more years left. His cap hit is going to be some crazy number like $60 million this year. The NFL is so weird in how this stuff moves around. You can't just drop it, trade
the NBA, they just trade.
But go back to Harbaugh. You had said something, and I've heard other people say this too. Well, he wants to be in something that's kind of set for him. Well,
that's just my opinion.
No. It's not just your opinion. I've heard it a lot.
Oh, okay.
If that's the case, how great is Jim Harbaugh then? John Harbaugh. Excuse me. Hear what you just said. He's a great coach, but he really wants to get into something that's already ready-made.
Why wouldn't?
That's an oxymoron. If you're a great coach, if you're a Kirk Netty, you don't need to have all the dinner cooked for you to just lay the plates out on the table.
That's
not just yours. I'm not listening to me. I'm not talking about Isaiah Hoffman. I've seen so many reports from ESPN to Fox Sports and CBS. He wants to be somewhere that's already set.
But why wouldn't you?
Well, hold on. What I'm saying to you is this. My question is, how great are you if you want to be into a ready-made situation? I'm going to give you this. As a leader, I don't care what team I inherited when I came to this where I'm at right now. I don't care because I know the type of leader I am. Mm-hmm. I don't want a ready-made team. And this is from a guy who's been in leadership for over 20 years, right? I don't want a ready-made team. You know why? Because they're too hard to change what they've already done because this is what we've always done, right? So you got to make those decisions. So if I'm a leader, give me what you got. Set my team up wherever you want. I'll take them and I'll handle them how I need to. That's just my perspective. I'm not saying John Harbaugh's a bum. When I hear that, how great is he then?
And you could be right. And I know
I'm right. When I'm talking from a leadership perspective.
If he's including Tennessee in his search and he's including, Miami, then clearly he's not. He's not.
Don't know that. But see, I think the prognosticators keep talking it, right? They may be way off base. He may be saying, "Listen, I don't care about the quarterback because I'm going to make it happen because I'm that type of coach." Mm-hmm. He could be saying that to himself, but all these outlets are saying, well, he wants to go somewhere where it's ready-made. Maybe that's just a smoke and mirrors.
It could be.
And I hope it is, because if you're getting that type of accolade and your agent said the day you got fired, 7 teams reached out.
And then not only that, Miami literally fired their coach after there was a report that said they were going to keep McDaniel. So that team where they reported there's a team in the NFL that was going to keep their coach, but now that Harbaugh's fired, they may make a change. That was Miami. So Miami's well in play for Harbaugh.
You know what gets me about this, right? So if Miami fired their coach because Harbaugh got fired at Baltimore, don't you think there's been some back channel conversations? I wouldn't fire my coach if I didn't think or had almost certainty that I would get the guy I want. Right now, because if Harbaugh, you're not getting Harbaugh, now what direction do you go?
That's a good point.
You know, and if that's the case, shame on Miami for making such a dumb decision out of emotion, thinking there's a chance.
Well, that's what does it not feel like that? That's what they did, though.
Because it's very ironic. It feels that way. That's why I said it had to be some. I would think there was some back channel conversation. So, for my example, for my betting money. My Dcot's betting money, and I am a bettor. I would probably put my money first on Miami because of just that.
Okay.
Yeah. Hell, I could be wrong as hell. I would think that though, because why would you fire a coach you said you're going to stick with, and you're not saying, "Hey, look who we fired him," so you're going to come see us? No, I would think you'd say, "Listen, hey, you do what you need to do, but I'm not going to consider you." Unless obviously he's gone, and then there's some type of a conversation to be had. So I think, I know there's a lot of talk about the Giants and a lot of talk about Tennessee. Man, no state taxes in Florida, beautiful weather, not a lot of crazy expectations in Miami, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah.
Or the stadium's only gonna be half full.
Or Harbaugh wants to play Baltimore twice a year and he goes to Cleveland. Or he chooses to do that.
That would tell me he thinks he's a great. If he goes to Cleveland, hey, I'm gonna tip my hat to him and say, Mr. Harbaugh, you're great.
There you go. Okay. I really am curious to see where he goes, because that's the domino. Nobody else is gonna get hired until Harbaugh is hired. I mean, obviously some teams will hire their guy, right? But most teams are gonna sit here and they're gonna wait for John Harbaugh to make his decision on where he wants to go. And I can't wait to see where he goes, because I think a lot of these teams are in play. Tennessee's in play, Miami's in play, Atlanta's in play, New York's in play. I do think New York is somewhat of the favorite. We'll see what happens. I hope Tennessee doesn't get any of those god-awful coaches they're interviewing, but we'll see what happens. Other than Stefanski, to be honest.
But back to your McDaniel thing, I think he offers something. He does offer something as a coach. I just don't know that it's as a
head
leader.
Coach.
He looked really out of place as a leader when adversity came to his team.
I think he goes to Detroit as the offensive coordinator. And
he takes over the play calling. Does he make the decision to go for it on 4th and 2 at your own 40?
He's one of those stats guys. So yeah, I don't know. Statistical guys.
I hope it works out, man. Hope it works out for sure. I know you said we're going to get back to the NBA too. You want to hit on a couple things on the NBA?
Yeah, we can hit that before we get out of here. I knew this show was going to be longer than an hour.
It's all good. We talked about on our social. We talked about it, right? One of the things for me is bittersweet. My damn Pacers don't won 2 in a row. It's great seeing my boys win, but damn, I saw DeBonsa play this weekend against Utah.
You almost fainted.
Him, my guy in Kansas, and Carlos Boozer's son. Oh man,
they're not kidding when
they say the kid from Arkansas we talked about for the longest now.
A cuff junior, and then Wilson in North Carolina. Man, I'm telling you.
You know who they say, and you don't know this guy, so I'm dating myself. They say Wilson is a young Len Bias. Yes, fans.
I know. Whoa. I know who Len Bias is. Come on.
Well, you saw the clips. I saw him in person. So with that, they say he's a young Len, and anybody who says that, check their resume. Check their resume, because when you speak about Len Bias as a player, and this young man playing in North Carolina, granted Len Bias played at Maryland, that says a lot. That says an awful lot.
So question, if what happened to Len Bias didn't happen, a lot of people think he could have maybe taken a couple championships away from Jordan. Do you agree with that? I'm just curious. And a quick answer.
Possibly.
Yeah? Okay. I'm just curious.
Because you know why? Because
I heard he was very uberly talented. In Boston, obviously would have built a good roster around him because it's Boston. So
that time there was a lot of really, really, really good college players. that didn't pan out, right? For different reasons. One of the best centers that ever could have played was Chris Washburn out of North Carolina State. Similar situations with bias, has some substance abuse situations, right? A lot of guys I think about back in those days, right? So yeah, he could have though. He was uber talented. He could jump out the gym, put the ball on the deck, and he had a nice mid-range shot as well.
Yeah, and the best part about all the whole draft lottery, look at that Clippers pick starting to continue to trend downwards, man. Makes me smile. We are averting a crisis. I love to see it. I want to talk about the Trae Young trade a little bit and what it means for this right here. Obviously, we have been talking about the draft lottery since the season started. Daryl's probably tired of me talking about it, but I seem to have him on board now. Talking about it, and now that he's watching college basketball, he kind of starts to see why that once the season started, I immediately said we have to continue to talk about the lottery because the amount of talent in this draft, and even Koa Pete, right, from Arizona. Yeah. I mean, that's another guy, right? And he's not.
You know what he does? You know what Koa Pete does? When he's around the rim, he dunks it.
And
he doesn't play games.
He's not even projected to go that high, which is so crazy to me.
He doesn't play games around the rim, man.
But looking at the draft and looking at that Trae Young trade, everybody is, and Daryl said it before we went on. He's like, man, I don't really care for the Trae Young trade. It's not that important. It's not that important. It isn't. It isn't important.
It stinks.
At face value, right? At face value, the trade isn't important, right? Washington will probably keep Trae Young for the next couple of years. I think next to all those guys, those athletic, tall, lanky guys, I think this is a good opportunity for Trae Young. I'm not going to say it's going to work, but it could work, right? It could, woulda, shoulda. We'll see next year. There's a rumor that the Wizards may not even play Trae Young this year. Well, in that case, that means he better sign an extension if he's not going to play this year. We'll see what happens, but this isn't for on the side of Atlanta, right? The trade's done for Washington. They're going to get a good pick, and that's the end of their rebuild. It's time to make the play-in next year. On the side of Atlanta, this was to get to a bigger picture. This was about getting Trae Young off your books because a team in Dallas, Texas said, no, we're not going to give you Anthony Davis for Trae Young. Atlanta wants Anthony Davis. Now, I am not big on this move because of AD's health, but that's always been a thing about AD's health. So what am I here? And I'm not going to say he's regressed, maybe a little bit, right? But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, you got to watch out for AD's injuries. Well, of course you got to watch out for AD's injuries. It's not as bad as Embiid's. So my whole thing here is for Atlanta, trade for Anthony Davis. I don't think your roster, when you look at the roster defensively, it's going to be really, really good. Just like the Dallas roster would be.
They got to give up the one though, man.
But that's my point. If you have to give up this pick that is owned by New Orleans, that's a horrible move. That's a horrible move because you can draft loser.
They'd have to, right? Because Dallas, because they've got to come. Atlanta's going to go to teams looking for something. They're not. No one's calling Atlanta saying, "Hey,
give us the pick that's owned by Cleveland at 18."
Atlanta's making the calls. So if you're making the call, when you make it, you need to give me that number 3 pick or wherever it's going to be. And if Atlanta says no, well, the door's shut.
Yeah,
because there's nothing. Because granted, Dyson Daniels is a nice player. And they got some nice young players, but none of that what they have is worth not getting that number 1 pick as well. That Atlanta's number 1 pick.
And Anthony Davis,
New Orleans, that is.
Anthony Davis is not worth being a number 1 pick. Not at this moment. That's just not. He's not worth because that pick could go number 1, and it's like Anthony Davis doesn't have that much value.
But you got to realize too, is a decent chance he's out for the rest of the season, depending on how that surgery goes.
Yeah,
it's a couple of months. So I mean, if that's the case, you're not trading for a guy who can't play for you. They need a guy that can play. They don't need. They've already shedded a salary because they brought back an expiring contract, right? So with that said, I don't know that Atlanta is in play anymore unless they give up that pick. And I don't think they want to give it up because I think them getting that room. I do think this pick can be a part of something else, a big trade, And again, I don't think the trade they just had with Trae Young is a big trade. I just don't. I think we're just moving checker.
No, it was a money move. It was a salary
but in
move.
the summer, I think you're talking about multiple team trade, 3-team trade, 6 players involved, 7 players involved. I think then that number 1 pick has value. But it has to be before the draft, though.
Yes.
It can't be after the draft. It has to be before the draft or some type of an agreement made on draft night.
Yeah. I if I'm Atlanta and I'm begging for Atlanta to please not do this. That do the trade, but don't give up this pick. If you can do the trade without this pick, you have to. You can't give this pick up. It's way too valuable. I mean, think about the Pelicans. Think about New Orleans right now. New Orleans is stuck for the most part. Obviously, Fears and Queen are playing pretty well, but still, they're basically stuck.
Hey, Queen is playing excellent for a guy that was laughed at on draft night when they traded up to get him.
Yeah. No,
that dude has played ball, man. It wasn't just that big shot he hit in the tournament. That's what people were saying. Oh, he hit a big shot in the tournament. That's what. No. That dude was playing some ball. But I'll go back to it, right? If you're talking Atlanta and this pick here, right? The only way if I'm Atlanta and I give up that pick, I've got to have a 20-some-odd budding superstar coming my way. I'm talking a guy who's between 24 and 27, not leaving his prime. I'm talking 24 to 27. That's what I got to have. Now, who looks at that? Who looks at that? Yeah. Right? That's a question and play as well. Now, them having some money, and this is I haven't heard this, but it just from a guy who's watching his boys, Pacers got some young players who they're not looking to probably sign extension to. Ben Mathurin, Jarris Walker, those are talented players, right? Would Atlanta and the Pacers be willing to do something for that? I don't know. I've seen crazier things, but I just think there's something's going to come out of this that we're not seeing. I would say Adam Schefter, all your experts. I don't think what's going to happen is being talked about right now. I just don't.
Well,
and I see it. They need young explosive type talent, right?
Atlanta
talented players. Guys are in that middle, that 24, 25 type range, man.
Yeah.
And neither one of those guys are 24, 25, by the way. Those guys are 23 and 22.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't be surprised if something comes out of the woodwork, the 11th hour, and say, man, I didn't see that coming. Kuminga?
Yeah. Atlanta's not done. So that's just going to be it'll be interesting to see where Atlanta goes. Speaking of another guard of low value, Shams put out this a couple days ago as well. The Grizzlies are entertaining offers to potentially move two-time All-Star John Morant, and Daryl is yawning hysterically. I don't blame you, right? The market, but like I said to you on the phone last night, you look at what Trae Young got traded for, and arguably, and I know you're not going to give me an answer on this because you'd rather have neither. I would rather have Trae Young over John Morant any day of the week. But anyways, when you look at what,
okay, fine, I'll take John Morant just to be the anti.
When you look at Trae Young's value and what he got traded for, it was a salary dump, and the money he was getting paid a lot more. He was getting paid a lot of money. Jaw's in a different situation where I think, and I think honestly, Jaw's the worst player here. He doesn't shoot better than Trae Young. He doesn't play make better than Trae Young. Trae Young's the better player here, and he got traded for less. I'm curious to see, because Minnesota's the team that needs a point guard. Let's just call it like it is. Out of every team in the league right now that needs a point guard, Minnesota is like ringing the Liberty Bell that they need a point guard. Now, will he go to Minnesota? I don't know. Do I think he could work in Minnesota? Yes, because he's not the number one option in Minnesota. The ball primarily goes in Ant's hands. Jaw can play off the ball. If Jaw play, I'd like to see how John Morant plays off the ball if Ant's the primary scorer, which he will be.
But here's the thing about
Jaw's never been a number one option to me.
Who was his number one option in his second year? It was him.
I'm just saying I've never looked at him and said, yeah, that's my guy. He can be the guy. I've never thought that.
That's fine.
when the media was trying to push that, I was like, no, he's not even better than so-and-so guys.
Well, listen, he's got 39 million this year, 42 next year, and 44 the year after. So he's got a nice hefty salary as well, right?
Yeah. The difference is for teams
41 million.
The difference for teams, though, I think, and why I think Jaw's probably a little more valuable is because Trae Young has a player option, which teams are going to stay away from that.
Dude, it's up to him. That's his call, right?
No, yeah, but I'm just saying, I think that's why there is probably a little more interest in Jaw than there is Trae Young. Jaw has more years on his contract.
Yeah, he's locked in.
Whereas teams looked at Atlanta and they said, why would we trade for Trae Young when we can just, if we want him, we can just get him in the offseason when he probably declined his player option more than likely. So
yeah, there's no reason for him not to.
So that's my point. So I think with Jaw, so there's two teams in mind. There's actually three that I have for Jaw, and I have reasons for all three. Minnesota, right? Because they need a point guard. Second one's Miami because they're desperate for a star. They're very desperate from what I've been reading up on. My third one, and this is the one that I think is probably more likely than Miami. I think Miami's the wild card. The third one, Daryl's Toronto. Toronto, there was a report. Toronto offered quickly, I think, a pick and some players to try and get Trae Young. So I'm curious if they will go and offer for Jaw as well. And remember, in the offseason, what did I say about Jaw? I said either maybe the Clippers or Toronto. I remember saying it.
Yeah, so yeah, I remember that.
I wouldn't be surprised if Toronto goes because they offered for Trae Young. Will they go and offer for Jaw? I don't know. I don't want Toronto to mess up what they have because they're a top 5 team in the East.
Dude, but here's a problem with Toronto, man. Quickly is making $32.5 million a year for the next 4 years. Mm-hmm. He's not even getting a sniff of looking at all-star consideration. This guy is a good player. That's it. Bad $32 million. I'll tell you what, you wouldn't take Quickly over Andrew Nembhard.
No.
If you would, you'd be crazy.
I had to think about it.
Nembhard's at $17 million a year.
Since you're the college football junkie, Cam Coleman, the Auburn wide receiver, he is going to play with Arch Manning in Texas.
That's a great place for him. Good. I'm so glad he's not coming to Bama. Bama needs offensive line help and defensive line help. They need to allocate that money up front, not on the receiver side. They're going to get receivers.
I don't want to get you on a tangent because you could roll.
I'm glad. I know we're going about the NBA, but to that point, Quickly is $32 million for the next 4 years. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to put that albatross around my neck trading with the Toronto. I don't think that he's in play at all. At 30, he's not a guy that's going to put you over the top. So you can say, hey, a team needs a point guard. Oh, Houston, right? You talk about that. There's no way.
No.
There's no way. In Minnesota, there's no way. At 32 million, nah. I think Toronto sits still, but the problem is you're Minnesota.
I was saying Toronto made an offer for Trae Young. I'm just saying when if they go back and get Jaw. I'm not saying they're trading quickly to Minnesota or what's it called. No, I'm saying to go get a better upgrade at point guard, which I don't think it's an upgrade, by the way. I thought Trae Young would have been an upgrade. I don't think Jaw's an upgrade. Look at Jaw. Like everyone can crap on Trae Young because he's a defensive liability and he's this and he's that. That's fine. Jaw is regressing in every statistic possible. So
I don't disagree with you.
I'm just talking in general. We can harp on Trae Young, which a lot of people have been doing. But like I said, if you look at Trae Young for what he is, and he's a really good offensive player, what does John Morant in the year 2026? What does he even do good at? He doesn't even
highlights. I keep telling you, highlights.
He doesn't even do that well anymore because his knees are shot.
That's the NBA time, though. Highlights. That's what we want.
It is a highlight.
We want the wild play, and guess what? Jaw's going to give you wild plays.
Not anymore.
Well, my point being is this is what people are looking at, right? I think. Listen, him, Trae Young, and Ball. Put them all in a basket. They're all the same because none of the three are winning players.
Yeah.
So and you're trying to get guys that are going to help you in your winning ways. None of those, because you know why? All three of them think they're the best guy on the team.
Yeah.
All three of them think they are the guy.
And the other thing to keep an eye out, right? I think
can't guard an empty trash can.
The age of the small guard is being phased out. I think Trae Young is not the start of it because Trae Young was a salary dump. There's a difference. They actively want to get rid of Memphis does. The other small guard that I would look out for that could get moved, and probably not at the deadline, probably the offseason, is Darius Garland. Garland's probably the other small guard that I see getting moved as well. And when you're Cleveland, somebody needs to jumpstart Cleveland, because Cleveland, I mean, man, lifeless.
Garland, here's the thing. If you trade Garland for this guy here, it could be a straight up swap.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm talking about money wise, because remember, in the NBA is money, right? Yeah. Garland is making pretty much the exact same money that this guy is. I mean, and he's got the same amount of time left.
Wow.
The exact same. I mean, 39, 42, and 44. Both are making the exact same. So you wouldn't have to do that. Could be a 1-for-1. Cleveland needs a change. Garland has been hurt. Ja's been hurt, right? They need a change because they're not going to be the difference makers in the East. And listen, they can say what they want last year about injuries. They weren't going to be the Pacers anyway.
Yeah,
they weren't good enough.
I found that Trae Young Hawk that Raptors report. So the Hawks reportedly rejected a package of Emmanuel Quickly and picks for Trae Young, per Jake Fisher.
Yeah,
sources say Toronto actually offered a package built around Quickly and draft capital for Young before last February's trade deadline. Oh, so this was last year. Okay, last February's
they realized they signed Quickly to $32 million. Said, what the hell did we just do? We just paid him $10 million more than anybody else would have. Toronto knows that
before last February's trade deadline, and maintained a level of interest in Young this season. Yet sources say that the Hawks had no interest in a Quickly headline package, given the future money he's owed. There you go, Daryl. The money staunchly prioritized the ample flexibility they have before the February 5th trade deadline and possibly into free agency next summer by taking back CJ McCollum's expiring $30.7 million salary as the key return in their Young deal.
Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
I'm looking at Hoops Hype. Do you know Cleveland's still paying Dwayne Wade $6 million this year?
Yo, what?
$6,623,000 because of deferred money. Because of the deferred money. My point. So I'm Hoops Hype is the key. But with that said, going back to Garland, that's your answer. It's Garland. If Memphis wants to get rid of this guy here, he and Darius Garland same contract, and I don't know why Cleveland would balk against it. It's not like Garland has brought you anything.
No,
I mean you can get a star name guy coming in with all the acrobatic dunks and all the other stuff that comes with it. Hey, no. Why not? That's what I'm looking at. You don't have to. This way, you wouldn't have to add a bunch of guys, right?
Yeah.
Now they are over the cap, which could be an issue, right? But in the first apron, but that's a whole nother dynamic. But salary wise, is even for even.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. We'll see where Ja Morant ends up. Minnesota's got to get a point guard. I don't think it'll be Ja. I think they'll definitely balk at it. They'll look into it, but I don't know if it'll happen. I'm hearing Minnesota is getting a little desperate though. Maybe they may be looking at moving Naz Reid to get a point guard. Now we'll see if that actually happens. But Minnesota needs a point guard. I mean, it's really simple as that. I love Naz Reid.
A guy that can shoot as well too.
They've got to get a point guard. It has to be done for them to contend this year. It has to.
Well, make your calls out there, because there are going to be calls being made out there, because there are salaries out there that are really, really formidable that could be made. It's just these teams may not want to give them up, these players up.
And when I'm looking at, I'm going to pull up the standings real quick. I know you probably hear the kennel downstairs. But when you look at the NBA standings at this moment in time, pulling them up now, you look at it, right? Thunder 32-7. They've lost a couple more games. They don't look as superhuman as we all thought. The Spurs, in my opinion, are the best team in the West at this current in time in this stretch of games. I like how the Spurs are playing. Denver is Denver. They're going to be there come playoff time. The Timberwolves are somewhat contenders, but like I said, once they get a point guard, I'm ready to say that they're just as good as the other top 3 teams. And then you've got 5, 6, and 7. I don't think Houston is a contender at this moment in time. I'm not bought into them still at this moment. And it's not even because I think they need a point guard as well, but I don't even think it's the point guard. It's not popping for me. There's nothing there that tells me that Houston is playoff ready. Now, when we get to the playoffs, it could be a completely different story because that's what the playoffs are all about. Lakers, they have their own envy of problems. You know, the record, and this is from a Laker fan. I can go put the jersey on, but I'm not going to. The record is pretty, but this team has flaws. I'm not going to go into it. I've already went on a tangent about this roster already for the 5th time already in the season. I'm not going to go on a tangent. This roster has its flaws. It's not going to get fixed at the deadline. People need to just sit down and enjoy what we've got because right now this roster is not going to get fixed. I do have something I want to say on JJ Redick that Daryl may be finally happy to hear me say, but I will hold that back until we get later on into the year. As for Phoenix, when I was talking, I forgot who I was talking to. Somebody said they want to see Phoenix make a move. And I'm like, no, I don't want to see Phoenix make any moves. You just got this roster somewhat okay, right? It's not great, but it's also not bad like we all probably thought it was going to be this year. And because Devin Booker's the number 1 option, he's playing good basketball, and Dylan Brooks is playing above his pay grade. Jalen Green hasn't even really touched the floor. I hope he can at some point.
Well, here's your problem with Dylan Brooks. After this season, he's got 1 year left on his deal. He's going to want to bump from that $20 million that he's going to be making.
So I think for Phoenix, and I don't think that's
why people are saying making a move
for Phoenix. For Phoenix, I mean, you can leave your options open. I mean, obviously, I don't know what free agency is looking like, but more than likely, it's probably not that good. For Phoenix, I like where they're at. I would just sit there. I wouldn't make any moves because you got trigger happy a couple years ago, and you got Kevin Durant, and you got Bradley Beal, and it didn't work because everyone said it wasn't going to work because this isn't the era of super teams anymore. But Kevin Durant still tries to build a super team when he can, and even though it's a failure. But I'm not even going to get on my KD tangent either. But when you look at Phoenix,
you gotta get over that. You gotta get over that finals loss, man. You gotta get over it at some point, man. Just saying.
That's why Curry's better than him, but it's all right. Looking at, I think Phoenix is in a good spot. I hope they don't change anything. Obviously, if the playoffs started today, they would play well, and they won the plan and whatnot. They'd play the Spurs. I don't think they'd beat the Spurs. They may get a game off them in Phoenix, but I like where Phoenix is at. I don't really think they need to make that many moves. We'll see what they do. That owner is trigger happy beyond belief. So I wouldn't be surprised if they make an idiotic move to try to pair Devin Booker with somebody else. But I would just wait till Jalen Green gets healthy if he gets healthy. I know that's a big.
Well, he's got 2 more years after this year. He's got Jalen Green 2 more years after. Yeah. So
I
be
would
patient. Be patient, right?
Yeah.
Unless your guy Devin Booker complains, but I don't see why you would listen to him. He hasn't brought you anything. Yeah. So I mean, I think they should stand pat as well.
I'll pose you this question because I was watching a pod. He was talking about the Lakers. It was on TikTok, and he brought this up regarding JJ Redick. And I don't think Redick is a bad coach, and you don't necessarily think he's a bad coach either. You think he's cocky, and I don't disagree with you. He is cocky.
No, I think he's in over his head.
Okay.
I think he believes he's better than he is, which creates a problem for his team.
When he talked at the press conferences, and the Crispin one is a great example. Well, we're gonna have a hard practice on Saturday.
He pounded his fist. He did the Brian Kelly imitation.
Is this I think there's 2 sides to the coin when it comes to this Lakers roster. You've got a coach that I think would be more suited for a team like Washington, a team like Utah, somewhere young where he can establish. Because if you watch Redick's podcasts, he's about pace, he's about space, he's about everything that the Lakers right now, roster construction-wise, just quite frankly aren't.
So maybe he's a liar then. Maybe he's a liar.
What do you mean? Explain.
Because you say things on your podcast because you want views.
But
you pound your fist on the desk. Maybe that's not who he really is. Maybe that's show. Because he and LeBron have their show. They're chummy. And we've seen clip after clip of LeBron failing the Lakers. I want to hear him, if he's going to be a coach of holding his players accountable, start with your most popular player. You can take 1A or 1B. Both of them can't defend an empty can at this point. So now, what do you say about them? But you go vague and say, we've got guys who don't.
Yeah.
I just think he's a phony.
Guys who don't.
I think he's an absolute phony. And you know what? I think those role players on that team see it. I think they see it. They hear what he says on podcasts. They hear what he says in the media. Then when they're in the locker room or at practice, they see different. He's lost the guys that really matter. You're going to get what you get from Luka. 33 points a game, 17 arms in the air looking for a foul, 7 blow-bys. You're going to get that. You're going to get that from Luka. But now, what are you going to get from those guys that are role players? You know, my guy, DeAndre Ayton, I like it if I could get the ball more. I could help the team if I get the ball more. Guys like that. He wasn't saying at the beginning. In the beginning of the year, he says, I just want to fit in. How the hell after 30 games, all of a sudden you go from I want to fit in to I need the ball more? You know why? Because he sees it as well. He sees it as well. And those other role players see it as well. This is a ticking time bomb. Because people know that the coach and LeBron are chummy. When you in leadership, when you have a player or a team member that people perceive that you're chummy with, they're not going, if it's true or not. I've been a part of both sides. True or not, they see this, they're going to question you. Then they're going to start saying, let me get mine. And that's what I'm seeing with the Lakers. That's what I'm seeing with the Lakers. So again, I just think that from my perspective, yeah, you can have JJ Redick all you want. You can have all this fist pounding and there's going to be tough conversation. My question to you as a Laker fan, who do you have a tough conversation with?
I would be curious to know because I don't know.
Well, that's my point. Shouldn't it be? It should be with 1A and 1B.
Yeah, I have no clue. Yeah,
that's who's going to carry you, right? Remember we talked. That's who's going to carry them. So what you talking to a guy who you giving 19 minutes a game for?
And like I said a couple weeks ago, Mark Walter, you bought the Lakers last summer. I get it. We're doing this whole slow transition thing. I'd like to see this process be sped up. Because this Redick hire, and like I said, are you saying
LeBron needs to go? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not. I've said this already multiple times. Look. I'm not saying Redick's a bad head coach. My co-host believes probably a little differently than me. I don't think Redick's a bad coach.
I said he's a phony. Be clear. I say he's a phony.
But phony can entail that you think he is a bad coach.
No. I think he's a bad character coach, which means it's bad for his team because your team doesn't trust you. Your team does, and he hasn't done it long enough for me to say he's a good coach.
Yeah,
because I haven't seen him do anything. But he's a phony. The fake Brian Kelly fist pounding, the same thing, man.
I think Redick can be a good coach, and this roster is not equipped for what he wants to do, and the Lakers roster is not ready. It's not built whatsoever. I think for LA.
In trouble.
I think Redick would do well with a younger roster, a Washington, a Utah. I mean, we'll have to see what happens. What's on? You're making a face.
They're in trouble, man.
Buffalo?
Ruiz on his last year of his deal.
We're talking about LA.
Reeves is in his make move. Next year he's got a player option for next year. Man, Aiden's got a player option for next year. Man, listen, they Lakers better do something.
What are they in trouble for?
Because the players that we're talking about have been, their role players are all coming up. Reeves is coming up.
Good.
Look,
that makes you flexible.
Hey, everybody ain't gonna go run and jump for play for that guy, man.
That's fine.
There's a lot of teams out there. Hell, I would rather play for the Clippers than play for the Lakers if I'm a budding superstar. At least I got sound ownership. Ownership.
Ownership's going to get it together. I mean, I need Mark Walter to get it done. Dodgers got all those World Series trophies, and Mark Walter wants to take his time in LA.
They can pay the most. That's why. You can't do that in the NBA, bro.
He needs to hurry up and get the right people in place. That's all I'm saying. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, when it gets to playoff time, I'm going to root for the Lakers, but I'm not sitting here and thinking they're going to win I'm not thinking they're going to win. I've already talked about this enough. Let's move over to the East, Daryl. We'll talk about the East a little bit, and then we will wrap this thing up. Looking at the East, I mean, it's the battle of the Pistons and Knicks, and then Boston's creeping in there. They've made they've made headway into the top three. Man, I'm gonna do a video this week, an after hours episode. I'm gonna update my tier list and everything else. Daryl, I want to listen. I
don't think it's a battle at all, man. Detroit's coming out of the East, man.
I want to buy Philadelphia so bad. I want to, right? And look, and we've talked about Embiid in an abundance here on this show and how his health, and then the last couple of games he's putting up 34, 28, and it just makes me think, Daryl. It just makes me think. And with Edgecombe, they got blessed with Edgecombe. They're saved with Edgecombe. It just makes me think, right? If you close your eyes and you go to the playoffs and it's round one, they're playing. Let's say they're playing Toronto, right? You close your eyes. Say Embiid doesn't play for the next couple months. They keep him rested, right? He goes out there. It's Edgecombe, Maxey, and Embiid. Philadelphia fans, you can close your eyes with me too, right? I'm preaching to the choir here, right? Sunday service. Happy Sunday. Right? They win the first round, right? Embiid doesn't play that much, but he plays just enough to get them to the next round. And then you open your eyes and, Embiid got hurt right before the playoffs. So I want to buy into Philadelphia, and I'm going to talk more about it on my After Hours episode this week. I want to buy into Philadelphia. I want to buy into the Sixers. I really want to. I want to buy into Edgecombe. I want to buy into your guy, Maxey.
Hey, that's what I was just going to say. You better start with Maxey. I said it on the show last.
But listen,
Maxey is the stall that stirs that drink.
Yes, it's Maxey and Edgecombe, and Maxey's one. I get it, but
he's a big one.
If Embiid is still on your roster, and when he can produce, he can produce. It's not like he's just, it's not like he's Anthony Bennett or Greg Oden or something like that. If he's still giving you,
hey man, keep Greg Oden's name out your mouth, man. That dude had injuries. It wasn't because he couldn't play. So,
and it's not like Embiid can't play.
And he's a good dude, by the way.
And it's not like Embiid can't play. So my point is, for Philadelphia, look at your record, 21-15. A lot of that is not off the back of Embiid. Man, let Embiid just sit. Just don't play him unless you're playing Detroit, New York. Don't play. Actually, no, do the opposite. Play him against the Hornets, the Nets, so you can get these wins. But when you play Detroit, New York, and all these other teams, these top tier teams, sit him. Don't let him play. Just be like, all right, you're gonna sit down.
Hey.
Your knee. You got some calcium built up in your kneecap? Go sit down. No need to play. Oh, we're playing Brooklyn. Embiid, come on, come get 15 minutes, 20 minutes, as you said.
I don't think it matters, man. I don't listen. Embiid is going to give you spurts because of the fact he's a talented guy. Give you that, all that wonderful stuff. Talented guy,
and that's all you need from him at this point.
He can't go back to back, and I'm not talking about in games. He struggles because of his ailments. He's 275, 280 pounds, carrying all that weight on those bad knees. It's just a matter of time where he's going to miss 3 or 4 games. So you're right. Spread him out, right? Spread him out. No back-to-backs. Hell, let him only play home games, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yes.
So, but with that said, they're not worthy of the topic conversation because I see 4 teams that are better than them are going to stay better than them in the East. That's Pistons, Knicks, Celtics, and Raptors. I don't think that Philadelphia, beyond Maxey, has what it takes. I know Paul George playing a little bit better. I get all that stuff like that.
I didn't even say his name.
They're not on the radar. That team in Detroit needs more prep. No prep, nor pub. I'm gonna say press and pub at the same time.
And
they need more press.
I love it. There was a report that came out. They're not making any moves.
Why would they?
Good. Yes. Good.
The Knicks were the rage. Remember
all that talk. All that talk
were
about
the rage.
particular move.
The Knicks were all the rage.
And
all Detroit done is slap them around.
And I think New York, like I said, and I will continue to say it, if it's not now, it's never for New York, because Indiana's coming back next year, and then it's Pacers in Detroit. And honestly, I'm still keeping my eye on Toronto. Boston could have Tatum back in the playoffs.
I mean, nothing wrong with bringing back Robin back to Batman. That's fine. But at the end of the day, still at the end of this year, it's Pistons. They've got a big guard. They don't have a 5'11" guard pounding the floor, being your best post player like the Knicks do. It's the Pistons to lose in the East. If they stay healthy, and that's health matters, just so you know, Isaiah Stewart has an offensive game.
Yeah.
Isaiah Stewart's coming off the bench. And on top of that, I saw a clip of him smiling. I never saw the dude smile a day in my life. It was a picture with a fan. I think it was in one of the industries. And KD had said, man, I've never seen that dude smile before. I was thinking the exact same thing before I saw the clip. Exactly. I've never seen him smile until the end of that picture. That dude's balling.
Okay. I think I buy Detroit a little bit too, right? But I still think when we get to the playoffs, and I'm not saying Detroit, I think Detroit will be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Detroit fans, don't come after me. I think Detroit can be in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they will be. There is a small part of me that still thinks, I could see New York beating them. I could see Boston beating them. I could see Toronto beating them. I get it.
Jaylen Brown's going to have to carry a big load to beat the Pistons. I mean your best player out there is going to have to carry a big load.
And even then, I'm scared to say it in front of Daryl because he's a Jaylen Brown supporter. I still really don't buy Boston, to be honest with you. Records are nice and all, but I still don't really buy Boston.
Well, I'm saying I don't think they're going to beat the Pistons either.
Well, I'm saying like if Boston plays Cleveland in the first round, Cleveland needs a jump start. Don't get me wrong. I could see Cleveland winning that series. I could see Philadelphia. I could see Philadelphia beating Boston. I'm not that sold on Boston now.
Anybody could beat him in the series, but if we're talking about talent for talent, play for play, in this order, the Celtics would beat anybody below them. I think it would be a tough series with them and the Knicks. But think about this: last year, the Knicks was kicking their butts, and that was before Robin went out with the torn Achilles.
I think Toronto can beat them. I'm pretty confident in Toronto.
Okay, all right.
I've been confident in
Toronto. I'm not.
That's fine.
I think it depends because again, remember it has to shake out a certain way as well too.
To me, when I look at Boston, and I keep saying Boston like in a Boston accent, but it's fine. It's fine. Anyways, when I look at Boston, there we go. I finally said it normally. When I look at Boston, the roster was better, right? It was the championship team from 2 years ago, and now it's worse. I'll put it in quotations because they're playing well.
Well, maybe it's better because maybe they got a little bit of that dead weight gone. You got your second best player jacking up threes as opposed to taking the ball to the basket. I mean, I'm just calling what it is.
Are we serious?
I'm dead serious.
Okay.
Your best player didn't get hurt. It was your second best player.
Okay.
I'm just listen. I want someone to come on and debate it with me. Then debate with me. Then he's a better defender.
Jaylen Brown's a bad. I'm not saying he's
a better defender. He's a slasher. He's not a diva. He just balls out. The problem for Jaylen Brown is people fear him because he's smart. He's not a dope. People fear that. They fear that. I'm telling you.
No, he's so smart.
Guess what? Guess who gets to see him tomorrow night in person?
I know you're excited.
This guy.
There you go.
I'm not going to cheer him on. It's Pacers all day and twice on Sunday. But yeah, I get to see him in person.
He's going to cheer him on. You guys don't know this, but Daryl has a Jaylen Brown jersey in his down there in the basement somewhere.
Let me tell you something. The only attire I will ever wear: Indiana, Alabama, Pacers.
I'll buy you a Celtics jersey.
And I forget, and Grace College, my boy from Grace College. Yeah.
I'll buy you a Jaylen Brown jersey here in a couple of years when I have.
Probably now. I can do without the Jaylen Brown jersey, but I'm with you though. Hey, Jaylen Brown's ready.
You want me to get you a Batman shirt and you can say I got my Jaylen Brown shirt on?
That's who he is. Everybody knows that's who he is anyway. It's clear now. We had these already prognosticated.
Oh, it's clear.
Listen, let's just be frank here. We said they were a play-in team.
Yeah.
And everybody else did. After 38 games, they are third in the East, 4 games behind the leader. That's because Batman is healthy and he's balling. And he's bringing those role players with him. He's made Pritchard a much better player than Pritchard ever could have thought he could have been.
Wow.
Absolutely. And just think about this. Jaylen Brown wasn't even on the Olympic team. He had 2 teammates that were on the Olympic team. One is not even his teammate anymore. And the other is your guy. You love him to death.
Who? Oh, Tatum?
Yeah. No,
I'm not a Tatum lover.
No, not
Derek White.
Look,
I don't love Derek White.
You love Derek White and Tatum were on the Olympic team before Batman. Come on, and he lost, and also your boy that's in Portland now. Our guy,
my boy.
Damn, your boy that was that went to Portland. They traded to Portland.
Who are you talking about?
Damn, his brother played with the Pacers. Come on, man, it's slipping me.
Drew Holiday?
Holiday.
That's not my boy either. That's not my boy. I don't know.
Holiday Olympics.
Derek White Olympics.
Olympics. Tatum Olympics. The best player on the team was on the Olympic team.
Hey, it's fine. Boston, we can do all this dancing for Jaylen Brown, but Orlando's going to get out the playoffs.
I'm not dancing for him. I'm just letting his numbers bear out.
That's fine.
That's all. There's no doubt he is the difference maker, and he's going to be in the MVP conversation.
Oh my goodness!
Tell me why he wouldn't be.
I mean, yeah, he'll be like 5th in voting, maybe. I hate to break it to you. He's not going to win the MVP.
I didn't say he was. I said he'll be in the conversation. He's not, because they're fearful of him. Okay, the league is fearful of him.
They're fearful.
Absolutely. That's why he wasn't limited, because of what he is and who he is outside of basketball, man. That's why he wasn't on the Olympic team. You know that whole situation with Nike and all of that. They're fearful of him, man.
I actually don't know.
I'll give you a chance to look it up, because this isn't going to be the episode for that.
Yeah,
I'll maybe do a Cops Corner on it. But my point being is they're fearful of him. So you're going to tell me Holiday, Tatum,
White
are all better than Jaylen Brown?
Yeah. Or no, I didn't mean yeah. My bad. I just meant. I mean,
anyway, the point is.
Hold on. Tatum, there's an argument. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you about Jaylen Brown being better than Tatum. That's your opinion.
No, well, it's blowout and facts.
It's not. But
we're watching them play.
We're not watching them play. We're watching one of them play.
Right, because you remember the other guy got hurt. Robin got hurt, and now he was able to get out of the way so Batman can do his work.
So Batman can do his work.
Yeah.
Batman's not even going to get this team out of the first round.
Lost Holiday. They lost the center. They lost someone else. They lost their second best player. And all they've done is now come out with a 24-14 record, 4 games out in the East.
Beautiful. It's a shame that it's not going to amount to nothing, though, unless they get Tatum back. I mean, look, I think Boston has a good roster.
I mean, he's a good player to come back and play a role. That's fine. But all the threes that he shoots, man, at some point got stopped.
The whole team shoots.
I'm talking about a guy that's so talented, jacking up threes. Make it more difficult for the defense, is what I'm saying. Do like Jaylen Brown does. Get to the basket. Take your threes when there are opportunities, but get to the basket. He needs to follow Jaylen Brown's lead when he comes back. I'm dead serious.
I know you are. All right, folks. We're gonna wrap this show up. Man, oh man, what a journey we have been on today. Remember, folks. Bolt up. It's gonna be a good night. We'll see what happens. Should be a good one. Last but not least, before we go, tomorrow at 3:30, NASCAR is announcing their new championship format. And all I'm saying right now, if it is a stupid knockout playoff format, I'm coming on this show, or on Monday, if we're doing a show tomorrow, I'm coming on this show, and we're spending 30 minutes on NASCAR, and I'm obliterating the whole organization, and I'm calling for it to get seized by the U.S. government if it's not a 10 race chase or a full season points format, if it's any form of a knockout playoff style, like we're March Madness or the NFL, I'm coming on here and I'm asking for the abolishment of the sport. That's all I'm saying. We cannot have a stupid knockout format for the next 10 years. If it's not a 10 race chase like it was back in the 2000s / early 2010s, or a full race format like the championships Petty and Earnhardt were racing for, then the whole sport needs to be abolished, and Formula One can be the number one motorsport in the world, in America. Because if NASCAR doesn't make the right change tomorrow at 3:30, the whole sport's done. It's a dead sport. I'm never watching the sport again, because at that point, you've ruined the sport. This format has been this format has been piss poor. I almost didn't say it, but I'm just going to say it. It's been a piss poor format. These aren't the same championships that Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt, and Richard Petty were racing for a decade ago, or 2 decades ago, multiple decades ago. If you keep this format that doesn't reward consistency, that doesn't reward winning, you're going to continue to lose your old fans. You're not bringing in new fans, all right? With this stupid playoff format, go back to the format that worked, and that was a 10 race chase or a full 36 full season points format. If I wake up and I watch this press conference and you announce some gimmick playoff format like you're a stupid stick and ball sport, I'm done, and I'm going to obliterate you tomorrow night, because you already lost a lawsuit to Michael Jordan earlier in the off season. So do you really want to come out tomorrow at 3:30 and announce, hey, we're killing the sport? Because if you don't do what the fans are asking, you're going to kill this sport off. That's my rant. Because, man, I'm nervous. I've been waiting for this since the championship ended in November, and they said we're going to make some changes to the format. I mean, screw the Super Bowl, screw the national championship. This is what I've been waiting on for the last couple months. Exactly. That's how I feel that's how I feel about the Chargers game tonight, and that's how I feel about 3:30 tomorrow on Monday. I know Daryl has no real idea of what I'm talking about, but all I know is,
hey man, I'm here for the ride. Listen, listen. When it's time for me, if I can get on, I'm on with you. I'm rolling with Rush, man, all day and twice on Sunday. I got you.
I'm praying that they don't screw this up, but man, they've screwed up a lot of things in the last decade or so. So
hey, we got some bills to pay before we get out of here. Don't forget.
Yeah, real quick, big shout out to Matt Gaddis of State Farm, our local State Farm insurance agent, and a big thanks to Wired to the Nines. If you need any low voltage help, please check out Wired to the Nines. And thank you to our brand new sponsor, Big Z's our sports bar and grill. Make sure to check them out on Brookville Road here in Indianapolis, Indiana. So big shout out to them, folks. That is going to do it for this one. We gave you a 2 hour and 15-minute episode today.
By the way, since it's Sunday and I haven't done much, this weekend, I'm probably going to go to Big Z's, just about 5 minutes away from the house. I'm going to go and see Lita and Matt, spend some time with them, hang out a little bit. Might have me a beverage or two. And I may have something for the show this week with regard to that. So appreciate the support. Big Z's all day and twice on Sunday.
There you go, folks. Thank you guys for watching. Very long episode, but we had a lot to cover today. We should be back tomorrow. I've got nothing going on tomorrow, Daryl. So if you want to do a show,
we may have to hear early because I got to go see Jaylen Brown lose tomorrow against the Pacers. So
hopefully they win, so the Pacers can continue to be where they're at in the draft lottery.
Yeah, but that's tough. That's tough. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. Daryl, thank you, of course. Folks, that's going to do it. We will see you guys once again for another episode of Game Time Live, more than likely tomorrow, but that's going to do it for this edition of the Game Time Network. See you guys soon.